Man, tonight is just heavy. Let's dive right into this explainer, guys, because if you've been watching the matches today, you know exactly what I mean. 16 teams walked into this expanded World Cup with absolute fire in their eyes. But, bigger stages mean bigger heartbreak. Welcome back, fellow football fans. Tonight, we really have to talk about these shockingly cruel margins that just sent 16 nations packing.
16. Just let that number sink in for a second. 16 entirely different nations, millions of us fans pouring our absolute hearts out, living and dying by every single tackle. And then, in the blink of an eye, tonight, it's all over. We invest so much emotion into this, and then the dream is just gone. I mean, did anyone genuinely predict Uruguay crashing out in Group H? Seriously, we are talking about absolute World Cup royalty here, a team that has literally lifted this trophy. It is just a massive shock to the system, and it honestly just proves that this beautiful game of ours spares absolutely no one.
And man, the agony definitely didn't stop there. South Korea, they fought until the literal last whistle in Group A. Scotland gave their massive, loyal, traveling army so much hope in Group C, and Saudi Arabia completely shut out of Group H. It's just a collective sigh of frustration for all of us watching. You really can't help but mourn these hard-fought campaigns. But here is where it goes from heartbreaking to just brutally clinical. With 8 third-place spots up for grabs, it didn't come down to who had the most heart on the pitch. No, it came down to goal difference. Senegal survives, while giants like Iran, South Korea, and Scotland are just sent packing by cold, unfeeling, agonizing numbers.
Look, Senegal knew exactly what was on the line, and they went out and absolutely demolished Iraq 5-0. Explosive, thrilling football for sure. But because Senegal poured it on, those specific goals translated into razor-thin decimal points of fate that mathematically eliminated other massive teams. It's wild to think about. Senegal's pure joy was literally forged from the devastation of 3 other nations. To truly wrap our heads around the ultimate tragedy of this tournament, we just need to slow down for a second. 3 matches. 3 draws. Let the sheer tension of that reality sit with you for a moment. We are talking about Iran here. They went toe-to-toe against the absolute best in the world. 3 separate times, and they were never beaten. Not once. And yet, eliminated. Pushed right out of the tournament purely on 3rd place rankings. So the really crucial takeaway here is they didn't lose. As a football fan, doesn't that just tear at your soul? It is the brutal unfairness of this sport we love so much. To leave the World Cup completely undefeated but still have to pack your bags just because some other team in some other stadium scored 1 more goal, it is just gut-wrenching. And the somber mood just continues across the board tonight. Turkey falling short in Group D, Tunisia's massive effort coming to a painful end in Group F, and Iraq unfortunately unable to recover from that heavy night in Group I. We really have to pay our respects here. They left everything they had on the pitch.
But hey, before we wrap up this explainer, we really need to lift our heads a bit. We've got 8 heavy underdogs heading home: Panama, Jordan, Qatar, Czechia, Curacao, New Zealand, Uzbekistan, and Haiti. These are teams who gave absolutely everything, just daring to dream on the biggest stage on earth. They might be heading home, but they are doing it with their heads held extremely high. Nothing but immense pride for the sheer passion they brought to us.
So 16 teams, 16 wildly different, devastating stories. It's the ultimate cruelty and beauty of football, isn't it? Which brings me to the big question for all of you. Which elimination hit you the absolute hardest tonight? Was Iran's undefeated exit the most heartbreaking thing you saw, or was it someone else? Jump into the comments and share your grief with the rest of us. And look, if you're enjoying this explainer, hit that subscribe button. The knockouts are up next, the stakes are only getting higher, and you definitely won't want to miss a single second of it.